One of the biggest realizations to me, I think, over the past few months, few years, but really even today, is that everyone is opening up their solutions to programmatic. I just came from a conversation with Spotify. You think of them traditionally as an audio player. They are doing a bit with video today, but they are soon to open up their inventory in a programmatic way as well, which really just says to me that everyone is getting there from a delivery mechanism, and that's great. One of the big things that I have been talking about with clients here, though, is how do we not just talk about the delivery, how do we make sure that we still have a strategic layer that sits on top of these platforms? So with Spotify, yes, we want to open it up, but from a brand perspective, what is it that we can do to plan and be more strategic on the platform? And then yes, let's activate that through programmatic as we move forward.
What does that mean? How does that change the operation of a business like Mindshare to make this move into programmatic? It's a big shift, isn't it?
It's a huge shift for us, and I think one of the biggest shifts is operationally, it takes a lot more manpower to actually run these things, and that's the biggest challenge for us and our clients, is learning how to operate in that new model, because you do need a lot more hands on the ground that are actually, I should say feet on the ground, but really it's hands on the ground that are actually in these systems day in and day out and making things move around. So there are people that are pulling the levers and pulling the triggers. We're not relying on third parties as much to deliver that. Now we do still rely on a data partner, or we do still rely on a DSP to help us get there, or in the case of Xaxis, we might work with Xaxis to actually help with delivering. But the biggest thing for us is that it does take, or the biggest learning for all of us is that it does take a lot more manpower to really pull these off. Native is really the way to go, if not the only way to go in the future on mobile. Video as well. But I think the idea of a banner ad on mobile just doesn't exist in my mind because it doesn't work. It's a small little thumbnail, and for a real direct relationship or someone who's buying on an engagement basis, maybe it works, and there are probably models, but from a scale perspective, it really doesn't do it. So native is, in my mind, the future of mobile. So Facebook started there, right? Snapchat's doing some stuff with their curation of native content. All those different platforms are playing in that space, and I'm seeing more and more of it coming up. I just spent some time with Teads this morning. Teads as well, kind of doing their outstream formats that are coming in. You could consider those maybe native, as they are popping up as you're reading through an article, as an example. Those kind of breakthrough formats that actually live within your natural habits, I think, are becoming much more impactful than your traditional banner ad that might live in a mobile app.
What do you think some of the bigger trends we'll be seeing past the next go?
It's funny, we had a little session on this at Mindshare a couple months ago, just joking around, and I said, you know, maybe at the CES this year we'll have a robot that does the opening keynote. I don't really think we're there yet. But I do think artificial intelligence and all of that is really kind of shifting and changing. I don't think we're completely there, and it's not saturated, and it's in some ways a scary world to me in how we get there. But I do think the world of AI and the world of robotics will be a bit more of a topic as we move forward. It's interesting looking at Cannes to CES to Mexico, how different the spaces are. But in some ways they are still all the same key partners that are moving around them, which is really interesting. All of it underpinned by data, technology, and the major shift that we're under. And I think over the next couple of years, there is no doubt that that is going to be the key focus for all of these conferences moving forward.